Hello everyone, Agion here, another CoH2 replay. So on the north side, as the Soviets, we have the HS Hooligan. So on the south side, as the austere player, we have Frost Z Zelia Frost.
We have more
This
conscripts
is
at our
a
disposal.
tournament to, I forgot the name of it. It is a best out of 3, and I will be casting all of them, putting them all into one replay. Or not replay, cast a video. So sit back, enjoy the show, and hopefully it's pretty good.
Fresh conscripts have
No, I do
arrived.
not want to install Java updates. I just started making a cast. Damn it, Windows.
You need
You
something
got
demolished?
2 combat engineers. I think he went for 2 conscripts, and this 3rd combat engineer will be building a tech structure. I'm guessing could be tier 2 for maxims, mortars, and all those
Engineers
goods.
ready for
Or could
assignment.
be tier 1, perhaps for some snipers. But then again, usually you want to get penals instead of conscripts. Penals are just generally better.
We have the point.
So I'm not exactly sure what's going to be happening. There's some capturing up all across the map. The Soviet player has much better capturing at the moment, thanks to the part that he's not playing austere, where you don't have access to tier 1 infantry, and pioneers are horrible
We have a
as an
fresh
early game
grenadier
unit, so you don't have to
squad.
rely on MGs, which they're very slow, and I rather prefer grenadiers or buffed pioneers myself. It looks like the MG will capture the munitions point. I think he sort of got a quick glimpse and maybe it was an MG, or he can make a pretty good deduction that it was an MG because moving this far forward it has to be an MG. We got some pioneers eyeing to rush and engage, but he needs to move these pioneers to protect the MG from this direction. Conscripts will do a significant amount of damage, but hopefully they'll be focused on the MG so the pioneers can do some work, because the pioneers cannot win a 1v1 game unless it is actually not even fits perfect. They are getting some good damage. The conscripts were aiming on a bit between the MG and the pioneers, splitting their fire. You got the grenadiers not capturing up the center. We do got the grenadiers over here capturing up the right side. There are combat engineers, and we do in fact see that second engineer squad building tier 2, eyeing for a maxim or 2. Perhaps maybe a mortar to displace the MG.
MG squad awaiting orders. The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Combat engineers are behind heavy cover. And the grenadiers are currently not capturing. They could probably move to right here, would be a great position. Like cover as well as capturing. Well, something. There's a couple of models going down to the combat engineers. And he's going to just try to capture up and run. He's probably shift clicked it. He did not. These combat engineers will be overwhelmed. This point has not been captured.
Enemy forces are capturing our
Austere player
supplies.
would love to have dual munitions point. Do not have tier 1 going up, so if we had tier 1 just being built and almost complete, perhaps we got off a rifle grenade, but he was unable to because he does not have any researching. So grenadiers are moving forward. There's only one window here, so they're getting nice and close. So the grenadiers should be able to clear out that
Territory is
garrison no
falling into
problem.
enemy hands.
You thought pioneers are bad? Look at combat engineers. They're a 4-man conscript squad with a 3 buffed conscript. You got a minesweeper coming out very nice and early. Oh, he spotted this S minefield. Very nice.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Like I said before, the austere player was maintaining that munitions point for quite some time. He could have had 2 though, which would really help out.
The enemy is taking our territory.
This audio sounds a little bit too much, but primarily the speech volume. Just reduce that. Everything else should be
The
fine.
enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
You got a Maxim there. Conscripts behind the Pioneer sandbags. You got these Pioneer squad may get wiped out. There's some conscripts on retreat, but they are actually have still quite a bit of health left, and I don't think they actually hit him. Rifle grenade does come out, but thanks to the heavy cover, he will sustain much less damage. But he did do a little bit of a dodge there a bit late, which will cause reduced damage while moving, of course. We got Grenadiers behind the sandbags. The Maxim will have trouble suppressing it. Will take some time, but he will provide still some good damage, especially at medium range. Maxim does provide some good damage. Another Maxim squad here. There's 3 Maxims.
The territory is out of contact.
Rifle grenades come on out, but the Maxim will force him back. This squad is in danger of getting wiped by the MG. Got one more last burst, but all of them missed. Grenadiers should be able to win out. The conscripts are in actually medium range, which they do perform slightly better. However, like cover. There's still 4 models. Now he's starting to drop some models. The 4 models there, he was actually providing still some good damage. Many want to see an austere mortar or a 222, but perhaps actually I would say either a mortar or the 251 flame half track would be the best option at the moment. We do in fact have a 222 coming on out, which is not half bad. He's trying to flank the MGs with this unit. Combat engineers are trying to hold the line, but the combat engineers need to fall back. They're very low in health. They are in danger of being wiped. Still 1 model left. The Grenadier squad is actually in danger of being wiped by the Maxim Quantum retreat, but he's actually packed up. So this is actually a great time to retreat. Oh, but sets up on the retreat path. Oh. This one will also get in. This is a gauntlet. Didn't even make it to the second MG. That was a very, very good positioning. The 222 is now out. There is a bit of an arc where there's no MG covering. The MGs do have greater than 1 armor penetration, so they're actually a bit more effective versus the 222. You got conscripts here. We do not have AT grenades. You'll probably be researching it perhaps even now. Oh no, he just got it. MG42 trying to secure up this northern point. Munitions point was not secured up. 222 ripping apart that Maxim. He may be able to get a squad wipe, but Hooligan conscripts arriving in. He's trying to escape out of it, but the 4 is providing problems with pathing. The conscripts do go off Ura. LMG is now starting to come out onto the line, which will give him fire superiority among the infantry units, but the Maxims will still be problematic because they provide suppression. We've got a medical bunker coming on up. That is quite reasonable. While LMGs are very nice, medical bunkers also very nice. So it's always debatable whether you should get med bunkers sooner or later than all your squads upgraded. My general belief it is somewhere in the middle, actually. The first LMG is quite important. The second and third, not as much as the first. Conscripts Urawing will vault this fence, will flank the MG, and he will retreat the MG in a nice, timely manner, and will most likely be able to get it out. Two is now fully repaired. Do not see anything else from this infantry company. do in fact see Battle Phase 2 being researched. And we do in fact have a doctrinal lock-in of the elite troops. Maybe we'll see some stormtroopers, but he already has 4 grenadiers, so he doesn't need stormtroopers. You got some flame engineers here. The flame engineers do have a penetration of 2.5, so they can a bit more effective versus T2 than the conscripts themselves, but the AT grenade will come forward. But T2 will destroy that heavy cover, which is actually quite important now, giving much more fire superiority in this general area for the austere player. Future engagements. You got the flamer just trying to engage, but still not 100% actual, 100% penetration. It's actually still quite little. The 222 will go ahead and fight this out. Munitions will be secured up. This point could have been secured up through munitions in supply. You have a T-70 now coming on out, which will be an excellent light tank. There's no pack. It was the only thing here for soft counters, as well as the Panzerfausts. So mostly, once we see the T-70 come out, we probably will see a Pack 40. He is approaching. He has fuel for the Tier 3 structure. You can go ahead and put it down and potentially get the Panzer IV out as soon as possible. Still, there is no Zis on the field, so the Panzer IV will have quite a bit of good range, or he could go for Oswin, something a bit more effective versus infantry. He has not seen any Zis, he has not seen any vehicle. Oswin can also engage the T-70. The 222 is now engaged at very close range, receiving penetrating hit after penetrating hit. We do got a Panzerfaust now moving forward. Panzerfaust will connect, Panzer Tactician comes out. 222 will go ahead and get on out. T-70 has this thing an engine crit, so he won't be able to chase it down. And he probably have to pull on back and get it repaired up by the combat engineers, which there is one squad approaching up now. AT grenade will in fact connect, but it will get abandoned. He needs to force fire at it. Most likely, if he force fired it, he could potentially get some penetrating hits. Grenadiers will be coming back on retreat. He needs to get a single penetrating hit in order to destroy it, so force firing it is possible with these conscripts. Rifle grenade comes on out, but no cover. Sustain huge amounts of damage. Will not get wiped. Who can be reclaimed now after getting repaired up a bit. We got conscripts now roaring forward. He's trying to engage the 222. Trying to force fire. He's force firing it now, but he's getting suppressed, so the rate of fire will be reduced. And will get pinned before another volley comes on out. We got a Maxim inside this building. That would be a bit hard to clear out unless with a Panzer IV. Still does not have tech structure. T-70 has been repaired. MG42 is being chased. There's still no Pack 40 built or being built. That is a huge oversight. This T-70 has no counter and no counter in sight.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Rifle grenade come out, will sustain huge amounts of damage onto the combat engineer, and won't get the wipe on it. Maxim was forced to get on out, resets up. Grenadiers trying to run for the building, but he was unable to. The Maxim will suppress down as well as combat engineers getting in the building. Maxim will cover the central point as well. Just don't know where is the. Okay, we do have a Panzer IV being built now. Very nice. As well as a Pack 40. We'll see the counters coming out soon. T-70 has accomplished some work, but hasn't really gotten all too much work done, thanks to the heavy cover soaking up the damage instead, but he will destroy out the sandbags. mine will be hit. It was just a regular TM35. You got doctrinal lock-in of the mechanized support cactus, which will include the ISU-152. So mostly we'll see a SU-76 and then ISU-152. You do in fact see a squad of guards out. They are retreating from that engagement. Oh, I did not see any DPs for them. DPs will be, of course, always excellent. As for now out eyeing to rush down the T-70, I do not see any mines upon the retreat path. 70, oh, we'll go this direction. I always forget that they open up this map. It becomes less laned and choky. And Bull only has 2 shots till death at these conscripts. They did in fact decrew the pack, but they are going to receive superior amounts of fire. Do you see the pintle mount? Do not see the pintle mount. He does not have munitions for it. They been quite prolific on those rifle grenades, but he's been quite effective with them. I would say 50% of them were extremely effective. That did not result in any wipes. SU-76 now out. You in fact see a snare. There will be another 4 or 5 hits until the SU-76 can pull off the Panzer IV. These guys are just going to fall on back. The mines will of course one-shot the unit. We'll in fact see a barrage from the SU-76, but he's going to just move the MG4 to secure up the point. Second squad of Pioneers have just been built for repairs. He has not made any reveal of what this doctrine is other than Panzer Tactician. I didn't get a good look of his other doctrines, but Panzer Tactician is quite common. So his opponent probably does not realize that it is elite troops. Tiger Ace is always a possibility, but it's still a bit far off. Still need another 9 CP. And for now moving forward, there's no AT mine there. However, there is an SU-76 here. The Pioneers can go ahead and start repairing up this Panzer IV while on the munitions point. Pioneers are here to help ward-way infantry. SU-76 is still in the area, however. No DPs yet, but we do have some good amount of fire from this Grenadier. Will not get the squad wipe. SU-76 now moving forward. We got the Panzer IV here, still severely damaged, but there is a Panzerfaust here, and there's also a line of sight blocker to play around with in order to keep this guy alive. Has sustained huge amounts of fire now, and that was a horrible spot for Panzer Tactician. We need to have Panzer Tactician right here because he's going to come straight into the line of fire. He could activate the reconnaissance mode, but he did not. Panzerfaust does not connect. The SU-76 tripping up the retreat path as well, so he's going to main back the squad wide. One of the Pioneers just got wiped out by a Maxim. The Maxim pinned it and forced it to die. Another squad of Pioneers is currently being built, which means it's delaying, believe it or not, it is delaying the Tiger Ace because it's such a high manpower cost. You need to make sure you don't get any squad wipes. Act 40 was in fact decrewed by the conscripts as well as the T-70. He does have some grenadiers here to secure it up, but he's going to straight up destroy it now. We'll go ahead and secure it up, but we'll receive a good hit by the T-70, and we'll go ahead and resecure it now. Act 40 will not maintain vision. Very, very risky sending in your one man in order to spot but he rolls a couple miss on that Su-76, and he probably should just fall back. In that engagement, he lost a Grenadier squad as well, so losing 2 squads at that moment is very problematic. He has not a whole lot of force. You got 2 conscripts with 1 guards versus 3 grenadiers, but we do have 3 maxims for support versus 1 MG42, 2 F-76 to ward away the Panzer IV, as well as a T-70 base in rain uncontested. Still the Pak-40, but we got guard grenades coming on out. We'll get a significant amount of damage. The 3 models will go ahead and get on out of there.
Our opponents are seizing a sector. The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Frost is in a very bad position. We are reaching our command points for the ISU 152, but we're a bit far away on the fuel, so fuel is not the primary concern for getting that unit out. But there, however, look at the map control. All of these strategic nodes will provide an excellent amount of resources for both munitions and for fuel. Scripts go ahead and oorah forward. They will in fact get a snare off. Su-76 can make a approach forward. He's retreating off to the side. So at this range, the Panzer IV is in much preferred range. Pak-40 is also here. We will in fact see a no munitions for Panzerfaust. That would have been a dead Su-76. That is a massive problem. Panzer IV is going to stick around and fight because that moving accuracy causes a miss there. Still no Panzerfaust. He does not have munitions. 40. Oh, I think that's a bounce there. Veteran C2 just got initiated increasing armor. And there goes the Su-76. Oh, those rifle grenades now prevents you from getting your Panzerfaust out. And that would have killed off the other Su-76. A massive swing. But now just a minor swing because you only got one of the Su-76s. Panzer IV got very lucky at living as well. That Veteran C2 popped in just the right moment, but we do got the conscripts now moving forward. Pioneers need to move forward and engage, dissuading the conscripts from oorahing forward. Now he's no oorahing, and he won't be able to get the... shouldn't be able to get the AT grenade. We'll use Panzer Tactician just to prevent line of sight from the AT grenade. He will go ahead and retreat back. He actually could have caught that, I believe. He would have lost a squad. And bounce, I think it would destroy the unit, but I can't really say.
We have a new Panzer IV.
We got another Panzer IV out. No Pendle mounts for each unit. And we still don't even have any LMGs for these units either. G43s wouldn't be half bad either, but MG34s or 42s would be much better probably on this map because it's such a longer range. You may see the get Maxim. Yeah, he will go ahead and decrew the building. Now be dancing around. He's actually going to try to make it stay. He's trying to circle around and actually use, once he realized that he saw a good opportunity to retreat. Very nice. We got another Zis coming on out. We do have 2 AT guns coming on out that will replace the lost Su-76. We are approaching fuel for the ISU 152. Conscripts could get an AT grenade off, but however, it will not accomplish all too much. If he would have pulled that turn tighter, he could have got some good crushes off. Ours is starting to move forward. They could get some damage in on the Panzer IV, but it's and just a retreat. Two penetrating hits come on board. You also got a snare coming on board. He should just retreat back. There's no point in keeping that guy in the battle. Transport is receiving some fire. There's an S-76 taking some good shots into it. This is out of range as repositioned, but Pioneers could go ahead and flank them. Barrage is coming on in, eyeing to hit the MG, but they will go ahead and get interrupted. T-70 getting some good damage in, forcing the Pioneers back. The Pioneers should go ahead and start repairing up the damaged guy, any damaged tank. Grenadiers are sustaining quite a bit of damage. The combat engineers could potentially go down, but that result must be 100% accuracy. This Panzer IV has received quite a bit of fire. We'll roll a miss there with the force fire to the ground. Pack 40 to cover the retreat. The Maxim will get suppressed. We could see a stun grenade. The stun grenade would be quite damaging. Both the Panzer IV are severely damaged. Pioneers are fully reinforced and ready to repair. We are approaching manpower and CPs for the Tiger Ace, which will be a very good swing. We do got a Stug coming on out as well. The Stug will be a good option versus the S-76 as well as the ISU-152. But the ISU-152 also has quite a bit of armor. Stug won't be as effective. In fact, the ISU-152 will win up versus it in a straight-up fight. Those are all AP rounds, not HE. Stug has been spotted. He's trying to hit it with the ISU-152. The ISU-152 that does have superior range.
You may now deploy a Tiger Ace at the cost of all further resources.
Tiger Ace is now available, just needs manpower. He's put this thing on to prioritize fire or put HE rounds into it. And in its current state, it's not doing all too much shooting a machine gun with AP rounds. You got a mine here, very nice. We do also have some G43s now coming on out.
Ready for orders.
Panzer IV both Panzer IVs are now fully repaired. Now onto the Stug. And we are seeing approaching manpower for the Tiger Ace, so I'm expecting that to come out as soon as possible. Then he will need to start aggressively pushing to his opponent because of the drawbacks of the Tiger Ace. We do have the ISU-152 now receiving fire from the Pack 40. No target weak points. We made use of it, but it would be probably a bit wasteful since he does not have anything to really take it out. We do got the ISU-152 now hitting the Stug. I think the Pioneers are actually out repairing it. Or he's just not shooting at it anymore. This is number 4 now pushing forward. Does miss this mine. This mine section is quite important to prevent flanks of this on this ISU-152. I need to stop completely saying that out all the time. Another mine on the flank. The Grenadiers could go ahead and sweep it. Okay. Here comes the mine. We'll go ahead and get a pinch. And now there's also a Zis here to engage. He's trying to sort of circle around. Tiger Ace now moving forward. He's actually just going to focus fire at it. We'll go ahead and decrew it. Now the rest of the armor. This one also met a mine as well. There are 2 AT grenades here. Maybe if the other one penetrates, probably could get it. This Panzer IV will in fact go down to the ISU 152. AT grenade will go ahead and finish off the other Panzer IV as well. Tiger Ace and Stug now moving forward. There is target weak points available to the Stug. Target weak points may be a very good option in my opinion. SU-6 is now down. The armor is now being pushed back into his base. Main gun destroyed. Now there's only left this Gnosis as well. There's only AT grenades in order to prevent this. He's shooting back. There will be no AT grenades as these guys fall back. So all the armor is back down. Lost both of his Panzer IVs, but his opponent has lost all of his armor. And the Tiger Ace is still out. Tiger Ace can go ahead and start poking around, doing some good amount of damage. He needs to start securing up all this ground. There is a Maxim way over here. The Zis is completely destroyed now. Oh, T-70 is still alive. Oh. Looks like Pioneer. Pioneers are here. Weapon crew of some sort. Maxim. Maxim managed to find that mine. We do got another mine. Mine has been found there. Oh, it looks like there must have been a mine here because this one was not tripped.
Now we can sweep for enemy mines. Well done. We have forced the enemy down to 200 points. Taking MG fire! Tiger.
The Tiger Ace has received quite a little damage in that previous engagement, so you can go ahead and start hitting these infantry units. He does have a very good gun for it. The Zis will have trouble penetrating his frontal armor. These Grenadiers will need to fall back. A very good hit there. 4 models down. Oh, another 4 models down. Sydney will come forward. Is in reconnaissance mode. Very nice.
We are losing a sector.
The T-70 is providing reconnaissance for the Zis. The Tiger Ace is just going to move forward. Do got a target of weak points. It's not going to do all too much. It only increases damage received, increases penetration received. He's just going to go ahead and start brawling against the Zis because he has engineers here for repairs. And he's able to take out the Zis from very good, from a reasonable range. Doesn't have to worry about AT grenades. Decides to fall back now. Has received quite a bit of fire. There is now another Zis here. But that Zis is going to need to get merged in by some conscripts, so up back to 6 men, because 2 members with very low health is not exactly a good situation. We have a Pinto mount on the Stug. But it is receiving some fire now.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
That Zis may have just been followed back. Yes, it was to this point to get reinforced. He finally upgraded his last Grenadier squad. We'll have some G43s as a very good option versus the conscripts. Stun grenade will come on out. We'll go ahead and stun up these units. The conscripts will get a very good volleyed off there. Ooh, that squad was actually very low, close of getting wiped. Losing these squads now is very problematic for the austere player because of the Tiger Ace, reducing his manpower significantly by 25% and fuel by 70%, if I remember correctly. Because he's at +3 fuel. He's getting a Flak Panzer, also in. Not a half bad option. Getting some more anti-infantry damage because he has plenty of anti-tank through the Stug and the Tiger Ace. Problem is now these infantry units are approaching enough fuel for another ISU 152. Do got a button, but does throw an AT grenade, but the Tiger Ace does receive 50% less damage, making it's going to take quite a bit of AT grenades in order to get engine damage or PTRS fire. There's only one PTRS left firing on that squad. That shot knocked out a large amount of those crew members there.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Black Panzer also will start making its assault. Removing this maximum would be quite nice. You can also spawn some stormtroopers there for some elite infantry. But at this stage of the game, elite infantry is pretty much regular infantry because all the veterancy, if not less than elite infantry. We do got the stealth anti-tank guns being utilized now. Very nice. He's far from manpower from spawning out some stormtroopers. He does have quite a bit of munitions right now. 260. So now his pioneers go start laying down minefields everywhere. Start hampering his opponent's advancement, perhaps laying some tellers as well. But he only has to hit a T-70 with a teller, so tellers won't be a good idea. Just start spamming out perhaps an S-mine field here and here to protect this VP. S-mines. Oh, no, that's Stellar Mine. Never mind. He looks like he's doing some queue-up capture, but it probably would have been best to just go straight for this point. At this point in the game, the additional fuel and munitions doesn't really mean much to him. He has plenty of munitions, and fuel income won't go up anytime soon. No AT grenade will connect. It will be forced back soon. For now. Tiger Ace has 26 kills at the moment. Pioneers chasing down the Stug to repair it. Pioneers could get it right around here, get ready to throw out a stun grenade. Looks like the conscripts are over here. MG42 will get some of them in their line of arc. And these conscripts will be forced back, no problem. Pioneers inside this building, as well as an Ostwind for defense. ISU 152 once again out on the field. There are 2 supporting Zis guns, as well as guards and conscripts. ISU 152 now engaging the Tiger tank. The maximum will in fact go down. That's actually quite important because it's the first maximum going down. You got the Pack 40 immediately trying to destroy it. You got Zis here being engaged by the Flak Panzer and vice versa. Pack 40 engaging the Zis. It does not have any stars in Veteran C, so we will not see any target weak points. Stug also engaging the side armor, do in fact have target weak points in being engaged. It just gets out of range. But massive damage comes onto the Stug. We'll go ahead and throw out some smoke and we'll fall back. Black Panzer will probably get the engine snared. We'll get the engine snared. And T-70 will be receiving a massive amount of fire, trying to... You really don't know what it's trying to do. Tiger Ace will... And we actually will get abandoned right in front of the Tiger Ace.
The enemy has 25 points remaining.
What happened to the CoH2? We saw it decrewed. I don't remember actually being destroyed. It was in fact destroyed. Flak Panzer will go down to the Zis. Wasteful. He won't be able to replace that anytime soon. It'll be another 40 minutes until he gets enough fuel to replace it. ISU 152 and the Tiger Ace are engaging, but the supporting Zis is getting some very good amounts of suppression. Main gun destroyed on the Tiger Ace. You have the Stug here, and it does have target weak point, as well as a Pack 40, so mostly you will not be able to wipe out the Tiger Ace. The ISU 152s are sitting huge amounts of fire, still using AP on the machine gun. Target weak points has in fact connected, but he's out of range. Pioneers are trying to immediately repair up the Tiger Ace. They don't have any stars of efficiency, so it will take a bit of time. And I just realized the Soviet players have 11 tickets, and this Maxim's just holding this building. He needs to decrew that building, claim up that, claim those VPs, and win the game. We do have another T-70 coming out, pretty much eyeing for the reconnaissance.
The squad of pioneers has arrived. The enemy is taking our territory.
Rifle grenade does come out onto that building. Will not decrew. Will not wipe the squad because he's already abandoned it. And then recruits it. He will throw out a stun grenade, or he's just going to gut it down. We'll actually just gun it down. We got conscripts and guards trying to eye to reinforce the position. But there are two grenadiers here, and they have stun grenades, which are very effective. He does have plenty of munitions now to spend. Guards grenade will come out, but he will go ahead and dodge it. T-70 here eyeing for support. Tiger Ace is coming over to support as well. The guards are receiving massive amounts of fire, prioritizing them first. We'll get wiped out also, actually. Guards will go ahead and fall on the Grens will fall on the back. Gren still down one model. He needs to do a soft retreat if he's on to secure up the point. Yeah, he can secure up the point now.
We are losing a sector.
Flame engineers now move forward. We do got a fresh mortar team out. They have fired one shot, but the flamers here are getting a very nice flank. Still only AP rounds on the ISU 152.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And we do in fact have the Stug now fully repaired, as well as 3 pioneers here for repairs. The MG42 will not go down, and the flamer has been dropped. This squad of pioneers could go ahead and upgrade to a flamer, pick up this flamer, be a dual flamer squad, making a very potent pioneer squad. Soviet players down to minimal units, trying to secure this point. He's probably going to lose his conscript squad. There's a lot of fire here to keep on his retreat. Somehow does not go down. Tiger Ace now moving forward. He could go ahead and blitz around. He's actually on for an eye to decrew the Zis. The Zis is now fully decrewed. It destroys the Zis, destroys the Maxim. We'll just go ahead and destroy the other Zis. Telemines have been swept. The T-70 will go ahead and engage, but the Stug, while at 3 stars of efficiency, has increased mobility, so he won't get the circle around the ISU 152's getting some very good hits, and we could see a target weak points. Soviet players down the Hello everyone, Agion here with game number 2. Featuring Frost now playing the USF and Hooligan as the OKW player. Still the same map, but it's a reasonable 2v2 map. I don't like this map on 1v1s because usually when I'm playing like Austria or Soviets, I usually get a forest spawn, which basically means you have a huge more distance to cover after every single retreat. We do have a second rear echelon opener, eyeing to secure up additional resources quickly. You have immediate lock-in to infantry company. I guess he's determines from all of his doctrines he's going to select that. On the other side, what's potentially the other doctrines? Fortifications, special operations, as well as scavenge. I'm trying to think of what would be the best doctrine for this map. I'm not exactly sure. You fight artillery with artillery, the priest will just win out because it's mobile. So fortifications is probably not a good idea. Special weapons, or special operations, always quite reasonable. Command Panther is always nice. And scavenge. Why? But scavenge just not one of my preferred doctrines. This is, to me, scavenge doesn't feel like it offers much. Wow, people just love the crap out of it. We do have the riflemen over here. Storm Pioneers will be potentially engaging them. Riflemen are going to stay at maximum distance. Go ahead and go behind this light cover here. We'll probably eventually get the Storm Pioneers out of there. There's only one window of firing upon them. Volksgrenadiers are eyeing push forward, trying to get these rear echelon out of here, but it's just stalling at the moment. We'll allow the riflemen to get a very favorable engagement. Forcing off that unit is quite important because it's only 4 members and didn't get all too much done with the unit, and now he has to retreat all the way back and then reinforce and move all the way forward. That retreat was actually quite important. The Pioneers finding a much better engagement behind the heavy cover, but the riflemen are behind the light cover themselves, and they are pretty damaged already, so most likely the riflemen will win out in that engagement. We got a third squad of riflemen being built, as well as 4th squad of Volksgrenadiers.
Ready for action.
Echelon getting some good damage in. But it looks like they will be forced back. Actually doing some good amount of damage before they are forced to fall back, getting 3 of the models for 2 of their own. That's quite nice. And the riflemen definitely went out in this engagement. Volksgrenadier eyeing to secure up the central point as well. Volksgrenadier will be forced back handily with these riflemen. Volsky's going to go on an eye to hit this fuel point once again. We do have nearby riflemen as well as rear echelon. Rear echelon has seen it. This rifleman could move back and make a more decisive win. Ooh, but this rifleman squad may have been left out to dry. He's very low in health. Could get wiped. He does not. Rear echelon retreated back. He could have gone in and the decap. I'm not really sure why he retreated back so early. These Volksgrenadiers will be forced back. He was not going to be able to win out in that engagement. We got some reinforcements. Volksgrenadier, the rifleman could go ahead and find some good cover. The echelon's got the heavy cover. And she's going to pile them all behind the heavy cover. Very nice. The Pioneers rushing on forward. And they will in fact drop the model, which is actually quite important. And now he's seeing quite a bit of damage, however, from the Volks by the Sturm Pioneers. We'll actually start to wiring off immediately the area, so he does not have access to the heavy cover right there. But there we go. Now it's starting to finish it off. Wolf's Grenadiers could get a squad wipe, and we'll get the squad wipe. That is very important here. We do got Captain on out, so the Captain can replace that Rifleman squad. He does also have 2 rear echelon, which can be equipped with the M1919 Sat-3 CPs, making them into an effective fighting squad as well. What I'm saying is, he does not need to replace that Rifleman squad. He has plenty of infantry in order to replace them already. Could go ahead and go for... He's mostly going to go for a Stuart, but he could go for a mortar half-track as well. We got rear echelons that throwing down the light AT mines. We do have the one here. The Storm Pioneers did spot one here, at least starting to be built. The rear echelon could go ahead and eye for this light cover over here. There he goes. The Captain model is still in fact up, so we do in fact have the Thompson available, doing an excellent amount of damage. The Captain model does in fact go down, so there's no more Thompson there, so the Captain needs to fall on back. The rear echelon was forced to fall back, they're receiving too much damage out in the open.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
We have enough fuel for a Stuart. Well, not a good but he's just lacking the manpower for it. So we may be trying to save up for it. He did in fact replace that Rifleman squad, so we do in fact have up to 3 Riflemen once again. We have 3 command points, so we could start seeing some LMGs coming down. Perhaps maybe on the rear echelon, or whatever squad's available. He could go ahead and throw a weapon on one of these squads. That will really up the firepower of these squads. He will in fact equip it on the Rifleman. Might actually get a squad wipe there, because that squad is so low and healthy, drop up models immediately from one another. We do have a AT mine here, the M5, not AT, but general purpose mine, which will probably destroy the sandbags at least. Could keep the Captain unreinforced and keep it for supervising in general, but of course you will sacrifice that squad, but you of course will get faster deployment times on everything, not worry about population consumption. Go for a Stuart now if he so chooses. You got Incendiary coming on out, hitting the burning the LMG a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Why did that guy... He must have got healed by a medical crate for a brief moment. I do in fact have Mechanized HQ out, so mostly we'll see a 2-2. Panzer 2, but Stuart is already out on the build. Well, sorry, I'm a bit tired at the moment. I'm a bit stumbling over my own words, and I noticed the music has been playing interesting. Oh well. The Rifleman here, there are up to 2 more LMGs available, so we'll perhaps see a lot more firepower coming on out.
Capture point is being overrun.
Ooh. If the Kenworth finds that mine, only gets 1 model, but it does severely damages the weapon itself. That's actually quite important if it gets decrewed, so it can be quickly destroyed off. Stuart will go ahead and start engaging these infantry units. He will rotate his hull forward, he can start hitting with another MG, resulting in for some additional damage. But the Ken Woofer has been spotted. There's no Faust. Oh, we do in fact have Faust here. So we'll go ahead and retreat on back. MG's coming on forward, doing a significant amount of damage.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
They're near iron to secure up this VP, but there is a rear echelon here securing up this munitions point. MG's starting to make its way forward, and we do also have the Stuart now being repaired up with aid of eventually to rear echelon, so that Stuart will be repaired up in no time. Squad was forced back. Not sure where the other squad went. Oh, looks like he's went right here. May see an incendiary grenade, but that generally not worth it. Because he already had a lot of numbers there. G34 here will suppress the captain. Hands 2 will be crashed, potentially giving chase. The light AT mine here can make itself known.
Our capture point is being overrun.
Stand ready! God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
Grenadier will be engaging the rifleman. There are 3 windows here, a good amount of windows. He will go behind this little bit of heavy cover. Stuart has been received a Faust for causing some engine damage. However, there's nothing really here to decisively take it out. We do got potentially another Panzerfaust. He's just going to lose some models like there's no reason throwing that another Panzerfaust. It's not going to do all much.
Someone get us out of here! Area secured!
Volksgrenadier will be forced out of the building soon. In fact, if he doesn't get out soon, he potentially could lose a squad. Cannon Warfare now move forward. The echelon just tap their wrenches onto the Stuart, removing the snare. When I say tap the wrenches, the Faust snare will be removed at 75%. So you don't need to really tap your wrenches upon these units in order to remove the snare. Echelon will be engaging these Volksgrenadiers. They are getting some good amount of damage in thanks to the fact that they were moving around. The Echelon hit this heavy cover, but they lose the model. They might as well just stood there and engage. They do have Veteran Suit 1, which means increased accuracy. MG34 will suppress the riflemen as well as the Panzer II, doing some good amount of damage on the retreat. Stuart is now fully repaired up. He's going to move forward. This rifleman squad is not in risk of going down. The Stuart is here to ward it away. We could potentially see a shell shock. I would like to see that. Potentially see that. I pulled it off a couple times to reasonably good degree, which is very nice that all of a sudden, oh, here's a King Tiger. I still have the Stuart alive. Just make it run around the flanks. Only blocks up the retreat, but throw in a shell shock to damage the engine. Major is on out. Major model himself is down. Like the austere officer, you don't need the Major to use all of his support abilities. A very long and slow engagement. That's the nature of heavy cover versus heavy cover. Those Volksgrenadiers are starting to pull out ahead. The rifleman squad has sustained quite a bit of damage. And I think the Stuart actually just took out one of his own buddies. The heavy cover is now gone, just leaving this light beak cover. The Stuart has received one hit there. G34 will pin down the rifleman squad here, but the 2 rear echelons will rip apart that squad. Eventually, the 2, they really started upping up their damage, getting decreased cooldown as well. survivability. At the 3 stars of efficiency, they gain the 5th member, which really does make them into a very effective fighting force. You have time on target now available if needed. Most likely, I would say the next vehicle we'll see out will be potentially a Jackson. Not so much.
Howitzer on station and ready for action.
Captain is going to receive massive amount of fire. There is a Beckenwerfer here. The sewer is not fully repaired, and he will need to fall on back. The Beckenwerfer is at maximum range, so he won't be able to wipe out the sewer. Panzer II potentially could dive in upon it, but that's a very risky situation. Major coming in nice and close. Got an eye for flanking, I guess. I'm not really sure. Major is actually starting to fire off his M1911. You can see, I actually really don't know the damage values of the M1911. It looks like it goes. Might as well. Anti-tank gun is hitting the steward. However, he will get a nice flank here. He could go for a shell shock, or the shell shock, the flank into shock. I've been getting that name wrong. He will hop the Beckenwerfer inside this building. You got major artillery trying to hit was trying to hit the Beckenwerfer, but the Beckenwerfer did redeploy into the building. Beckenwerfer will go ahead and escape out of there. Major not having enough damage. Major is at efficiency 1, so I'm not sure if he actually had the improved barrage or not. The sewer is down. We do have a Sherman tank coming out. The very reliable Sherman tank. 5 stars of efficiency are now on this one squad of rear echelon. The other squad is a bit far away. A captured MG-34 will be engaging the MG-34, but they're already suppressed, and most of the OKW-1 will win out. You have special operations. We do, in fact, have the Command Panther available. Not even having a medical HQ, using all of his munitions on these medical crates, and not even on STGs. You could go ahead and invest into once he gets the Command Panther out, a medical HQ in order, because he can rely on the Command Panther for armor. So the captain does in fact have an LMG as well as the bazooka. Bazooka was his upgraded bazooka. He does not have weapon racks. He does have in fact actually grenades. Room tank is now out. HE rounds loaded. Panzerfaust will connect. That was way too early. The Beckenwerfer was not set up in time. We do have the Beckenwerfer here getting decrewed. He's going, oh, but that shoe mine will prevent the capture. He designed to capture up the Beckenwerfer, but he was unable to.
Crowd's got us dialed in.
We do have an M1 AT gun now out, which is a reasonable AT gun. 2 rounds will bounce off the Panzer II. Okay, actually unlucky there. Beckenwerfer will engage the Sherman tank. The MG-34 will get decrewed there.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
I'm going to come in for a flank, but there is the Panzer II here, as well as Sturm Pioneers and everything. VPs are relatively even, while in favor of the OKW player, the control points are in favor of the USF player. AT gun will hit the Panzer II and make it a second shot. Oh, but rolls a miss.
Supply line just got cut off.
heard of the cannon warfare shot. Oh, Iron destroyed this MG34. And maybe it'll. Well, no, that's a major. He'll sacrifice a major. He knows that. Pioneers rushing on forward. He actually will secure up the weapon. The Shroom Pioneer squad almost went down by the M1919. Panther now out, which is going to be very problematic.
Capture point is being overrun.
The AT grenade is off cooldown. The flag there. The AT grenade did in fact connect onto the Panther 2. Take now moving forward. Still an HE round, so needs to read to a purpose to AP. Smoke grenade does come out by the captain. The Sherman tank is going to do some very good damage onto this MG34. Could get a wipe on it. They're a bit stacked up for a time, but I think I'm not so sure. He looks like he was forced out of the ground actually there. Snare will come on in, but no damn engine was snared. Looks like you got a major already coming on in. Oh, one of the rear echelons just got wiped out. We do in fact have another Sherman tank coming out. Sherman spam is actually very effective. 80 rounds will rip apart anything that OPW player has, as well as they have a very good gun even to deal with the Command Panther. He's also using Fox Company camouflage, telling his opponent where exactly to aim with the blue mark. The only thing we've seen making usage of the infantry company is, of course, rifleman field defense and the 1919s. He's been using major already instead of time on target, much cheaper. And we have not seen the priest, so potentially after the second Sherman we may in fact see a priest, but there's been no good emplacements really to engage or any trucks, forward trucks. You got half track now out. I would definitely want to see a battle group HQ so he can start investing his munitions onto STGs. He did in fact lose to his Volk squads. Overall, I would say the US player is in a bit of better position, but the OPW player still has a commander panther as well as two mechanic warfers. Both these guys load up with AP. There is a Faust here support, but rolling a couple bounces and misses. The Sherman tanks will probably need to fall back. The Command Panther will move forward just slightly. This Sherman tank will need to fall back now. Throws out some smoke.
A capture point is under attack.
The Sherman tanks will be forced to fall back, but you got AP rounds coming in, but will roll a bounce onto the Command Panther. Rolling two bounces. You get this guy starts to vet it up, he becomes a really devastating machine. Bounces with the Sabo rounds. And finally gets a penetrating hit. Panther eyeing to rush on forward. One Sherman tank can still sustain another shot, but he does not see the Sherman tanks. Hooligan rear armor penetrating shot there. We got Panther 2 here. Riflemen ripping apart these Sherman Pioneers. The Command Panther going very far forward. There is a snare here for defense. Ambulance, it does get decrewed, very nice. We do in fact have the light AT mine snaring the engine temporarily of the Panzer II.
Promotion received. Fuchs Grenadier are on the line. German Panther! What the hell am I meant to do with these? Field promotion just came over here!
We are approaching enough fuel for another Sherman or Priest. So it'll be interesting what he goes for next. I'm gonna go for 3 Shermans, but that's at most is how many medium tanks you want to get. Beyond that, it's really hard to move around units, that many units, due to congestion, traffic congestion, literally, as well as it'd be much harder than micro.
Damn it! Anti-tank!
And Panther has received a number of penetrating hits from this AT gun. Once it gets to 2 stars of veterancy, I think gets increased accuracy. Oh. Veterancy 3 is actually its money for Veterancy 3, but for penetration and rate of fire. No, this ability I've never really seen. Increases weapon range, limits firing cone. Take aim. I've never used that ability, and I always forget about it. HE rounds will rip apart squads, no problem. Also, he's starting to hit, destroying this cover, per se. Actually, that one's equipped with AP. Oh, these are guys equipped with APs, not HE. Maybe he did switch them out and I didn't see it. The Stone Pioneer is at Veterancy 3, so potentially could see a stun grenade. Man Panther is now forward, getting 2 penetrating hits onto this Sherman tank. She could have swarmed it, potentially. Of course, you never know where Volks are here for snares, as well as Kid Warfers cloaking around. We'll find that AT mine. Another AT mine spotted, as well as a snare from the riflemen. Now we do in fact have Jackson coming on out, eyeing for heavy tank destroyer. It looks like the captain did in fact go down, as well as the squad riflemen. SCG is now coming on out. You got the medical HQ. It actually was the HQ selection. Snare will come forward. There are 2 Vulcanwoofers here. This is danger. Sherman that was at 50% health was very low. Was destroyed instantly. If he would have just tapped him with a wrench, he would have survived 1 health. Can potentially decrease the low health one, but you got 1 penetrating hit there. 2 penetrating hits. And there goes the other Sherman tank. That was a massive loss, and all for trying to dive down that Panzer II, but largely not worth it. Now Frost is in a very, very bad position. Though he does have 1 game up, which means he can lose this game. And take a breather and hopefully win the 3rd game. Panzer II is currently being rebuilt for more anti-infantry damage. You have Jackson now out. The command Panther is severely low on health. And is not being upgraded to a bazooka. We'll go ahead and combat bullets out of there. Will escape the range, no problem. Rolls a miss there because it also conveys target size reduction. We'll roll a bounce there. And now the 2 Cannon Warfers now moving forward. Jackson will fall back. Major Recon does come forward. We'll partially scout the base. Doesn't see much of that run. But seeing nothing can be quite nice as well, because that means your opponent's not there.
A capture point is being overrun.
There's a drop weapon there. It looks like it is the bazooka from the captain.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Oh, the Stone Pioneer's down. It's completely dead. I was going to see if the Stone Pioneer had a hazard removal kit. If it didn't, you could always grab the bazooka, put the Panzer Strikers on as well, and get a dedicated AT squad.
You got it. Rifle squad ready for action.
We have a replacement rifleman squad. Do only have the Jackson out for AT. he's not in a very good position at the moment.
A capture point is under attack.
On the other side, there's still 3 squads of Volks, so it's relatively even on the infantry side, but 2 squads of MGs help support, as well as 2 of the cannon warfare to ward away the Jackson. Jackson won't get all too much done. Holy crap, that was a shoe mine doing a massive amount of damage, I believe.
They've dialed us in. A capture point is being overrun.
Or it could have been infiltration grenade assault? It was an infiltration grenade. Ansfels does come forward, but of course does not snare the engine. Grenade does come forward doing massive amount of damage to this MG34, thanks for having like 3 windows right here. But this squad mostly will get cleaned up, will suppress this squad here, but the other squad will go and start gunning away. You do in fact have a Puma now being built. He has 2 cannon warfers. He has a command panther. I don't think he really needs a Puma. Go for another Panzer II. Of course, fog of war is always a problem. He assumes his opponent has an AT gun or 2. He assumes his opponent has a couple. He knows he's short 2 Sherman tanks, but he's assuming that Jackson has additional support. Man Panther now approaching. We'll actually find the Jackson in a very, very deadly position. We could see a house perhaps running forward. The rifleman squad will get gunned down by the MGs, and that. Oh, that was the freshman. And there goes the lieutenant, I believe. I just saw. It looks like Frost goes ahead and throws in GG. Now the score is 1, which means on to game. Hello everyone, Agion here, back with game number 3. Let's see. And it looks like Hooligan still OKW, and we have Frost playing as the UKF. This is game number 3. Winner takes it all. The potential doctrine mobile assault land match is always quite reasonable. Commandos won't really see much play, nor the Flamer, because it's not a garrison heavy map. Commando regiment. I don't really see that one. Oh, never mind. We do have special weapons regiment immediately locked in, and that is a very reasonable doctrine. We do also have hold the line, a very powerful ability. So if you manage to hold a sector while his opponent is attacking, his opponent will be annihilated with airstrikes. Excuse me. On the other side, looks like we do have, instead of, what was it, Scavenge? Yeah, Scavenge was replaced by Fear Storm Doctrine, which we will have see potentially the Flame Headsler and the other assets along with it. But special weapons are still quite reasonable. And fortifications, his opponent went for Brits. The left 18 will be quite nice. Pack 43 is always pretty good.
Carrier ready for use.
A lot of line of sight blockers for the Pack 43. Say put one right here, and it is very hard to deal with.
Carrier ready to move on.
You have an early universal carrier. So we'll in fact see this fire support vehicle. We do have the Kubelwagen as well as second squad of Volks for the OKW. And it looks like we're going to see 3 squads of Royal Infantry sections.
Infantry squad trained and ready to go.
He's trying to eye for that munitions point, but is unable to secure it. We do have the fuel point secured up from both sides. We do have this munitions point, so maybe he's eyeing for some early brands, or he's eyeing to get those munitions points as soon as possible, because he's playing a very heavy munitions doctrine, potentially of the resupply half track, the hold the line, the concentrated fire operation, and both the crocodile's not munitions based. We have a fourth squad of Royal Infantry section, but getting Royal Engineers Infantry section somehow mixed up. These names. And we do have a Vickenwiffer out to counter the Universal Carrier. However, he's significantly lacking in anti-infantry. He also went for the Kubelwagen, which is a pretty heavy manpower investment when your opponent does have a Universal Carrier as well as a bunch of infantry sections that can easily take it out. Looks like we do see some sandbags being built next to the sandbags. Looks like he's just out of range there. He's trying to find a good spot where he has cover as well to gauge that area. He could potentially perhaps move behind this tree or this tree. He can give me his in cover bonuses as well as a better defensive position. The Universal Carrier does in fact go down to the Vickenwiffer. The Vickenwiffer will go and cloak away into that command point. This squad of medics will be forced back. We do have Soon Pioneers here. You will need to fall back the squad. They have sustained quite a bit of damage. Luckily, there are medics that he's currently chasing.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Volksgrenadiers, there's only one window on this side, but however, there's only 2 members left. So I would say overall the Volksgrenadiers should be able to win out. They would definitely win out now.
Volksgrenadier are on the line.
We'll go ahead and finish wiring off this Opal Blitz, which prevent that heavy cover from being utilized by the UKF player. We got a large assault coming forward. We do also got the medics healing what they can on this squad. Overall, huge sweeping gains for the OKW player. Another squad of Royal Engineers section coming on out, which provides huge amounts more firepower, though perhaps maybe 5-man squads would have been better if he was going for that many. We will go ahead and re-secure up this field point. The Vaughan's getting some good damage in. Is he actually picked up? Yes, he has in fact teched up. So maybe he's just going to go straight for utilizing his field for Cromwell potentially. But we'll in fact see another mechanized HQ coming on out. And he will of course deploy a Panzer II. There's currently no counter out on the field. He can get a EC of his current field right. In that fact, he is actually going to research the AEC as well, potentially build it as well as a good counter to the Panzer II.
A capture point is being overrun.
And there goes the Kubelwagen and just started up his repairs. That's actually a quite nice pick. We got a nice model drop there right as he entered the building as well. We do have these intersections trying to resecure or try to protect this area. Trying to be making use of the heavy cover, but it looks like each player at the maximum range. We'll go ahead and decap it and jump on the building. Double cap is in favor of the OKW player. We do also got some Royal Engineers as well as the AEC coming on out now. You know, it's sort of surprising to me that he went for such a heavy intersection play. I'm guessing he couldn't make use of the tank hunters instead because of the 2 command point cost. These intersections will be forced to retreat back. They're trying to soft retreat, but they're going to get overwhelmed. AEC is now out. There are Panzerfaust available, but he has no munitions for it. So this AEC does have quite a bit of room to work with. Panzer 2 is almost out. This section here will be putting some very good damage on this Volks Grenadiers. This infantry section has not approached for the AEC, could potentially soak in some damage, as well as park itself to provide heavy cover for the infantry section to engage the Volks Grenadiers. Panzer 2 is now out. And you got a pretty big retreat back by the OKW player. 3 squads of Volks Grenadiers are falling back, but you got MG34 coming out now, but he's actually a bit low on manpower, so he may want to hold off on it. You do have enough munitions now for Faust. And I think he spotted the Panzer 2, who's going to withdraw the AEC from that area in order to engage the Panzer 2.
Heavy machine gun team ready for battle.
Some Pioneers are going to force back the squad. Even though he had a nice little line of sight blocker, it's probably a good idea to fall that guy back sooner rather than later. He's now responding. There is that mine there. Pioneers do in fact missed it. Ooh. I think we do in fact have 5-man squad, and now no, it is not. I just see it looks like all these guys are low in health, like they needed 5-man. But yeah, he does not have 5-man, even though it just looks like all the health is just that he has built 5-man.
Extra firepower is now available for units.
Yits and Brens are now available, not eyeing to use reinforcement half-track for it. AC is ready to intercept the Panzer 2 once he knows it's clear. The Canwurfer is actually over here, but it's close around, so he does not know that. Screen is coming in for a flank, and also we will in fact potentially see Faust from this direction as well. Retreating out in the very good positioning. We'll destroy that heavy cover there of the Universal Carrier. He's coming skirting around, trying to force his AEC into a engagement that it does not want to take. The intersection needs to fall back. They're seeing huge amounts of losses. And we do in fact see a... Oh, he's just staying out of range of the Faust. The Canwurfer is over here as well, which it is not cloaked, so he may have spotted it. Just trying to evade the Panzerfaust to prevent the death of this AEC. A bit of rotation there. This Faust will in fact connect. The Canwurfer is out of range, and he will need to reposition around this. The Panzer 2 could go ahead and get some nice rear armor shots, getting massive amounts of damage in. Panzer 2 could take out the AEC. Keep 2 fire shots of itself. The AEC has this thing quite a bit of fire. Main gun destroyed. And there goes the AEC. That is a huge swing in events for that main gun destroyed.
Command has authorized the use of radio silence.
Special weapons, special operations has been selected, so special weapons versus special operations. A very special game. We do in fact have a mine being deployed there. Or not. No, there is no mine there. I saw them spread out exactly like if there was a shoe mine there. The Student Pioneers do not have a hazard removal package, so they're going to take a bit of time to repair up this Panzer 2, but it won't take too long, really. 6-pounder has been built. Is receiving a bit of fire from the Volksgrenadiers. Five-man squad has not been researched about. However, the platoon command post is currently being built as sure where I'm going with that train of thought. It means he's teching up.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
The cannon warfare will go ahead and get decrewed, which if you can grab that, that's actually quite important. But the MG34 will cover it. The half track coming on out. He have a whole lot. I think that's meant for Battle Group HQ and just got rallied out onto the field. Grenadier will secure that weapon, but almost got wiped out there. You got a flank trying to either wipe this unit here, but they're just outgunned. Panzer II is also on the retreat path, but they have plenty of health, so mostly they will not get wiped out. 6-pounder trying to engage the Panzer II.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Will roll a miss, which is a bit problematic. Volksgrenadiers are currently in this building. We got Sturmpioneers rushing down the AT gun. Will probably get decrewed. Probably won't be able to destroy it or salvage it or secure it for himself. It's a bit too far in territory. He will nonetheless try to secure it up for himself. He's currently being assaulted, pursued by these infantry sections, but of course infantry sections do not have the greatest accuracy. There's a lot of firepower coming down upon it, but the Panzer II is coming here to support. Losing this AT gun is a massive loss because that means he does not have access to the AT gun to engage his Panzer II. And to make matters worse, if once he rebuilds one, these are stupid Zafus. The AT gun will not be secured up. Now there is nothing. However, you have a Centaur coming on out, and while there's 2 AT guns, but it can engage the Panzer II with relative ease. Barrage comes on in, try to hit the retreat path of a squad. Royal Engineers go down. He was unwilling to retreat back into that barrage, which is quite understandable, but he does lose it to the gunfire. He does have plenty of munitions to replace the Royal Engineers. He's also getting another AT gun, so he's still in a good position. But right now he does have a significant loss in resources and field control. Not even having his own fuel point, Centaur will need to do quite a bit of work. With the Super Safus, he knows his opponent's a bit far away from deploying any other medium vehicle. But he has gone for special weapons. I don't think it has been revealed yet. So he does have access to the Panther without needing to tech up. There's some Sturmpioneers here. That was not another shoe mine. It looks like they are deploying shoe mines when they're not. Panzer II will be spotted by the Centaur. The Centaur will give chase, but there is a Vickenwerfer here. Vickenwerfer does not affect fire, and will now be focused down, but probably could get wiped. I really don't know. Centaur does have excellent anti-infantry. 6-pounder will hit the Centaur. The Centaur will need to fall back. Zafus coming on in. Udashar, a bunch of wire, but that's about it. There is now a second Royal Engineer coming out on the field. Perhaps maybe should equip him with some Piets. I thought that he was going to get those weapon racks or Piets for his Royal Engineers. Oh, I think that was now it was actually 5-man squads just been researched. And of course, trying to select different HQs there. Yeah, 5-man squad has just been researched, which means we will have maximum firepower from these entry sections without these weapon racks, but they do in fact have a brand pretty much across the line. So they will now decisively handle pretty much any engagement against the Volks on one-on-one. Additional repairs from the Royal Engineers is quite handy as well. CPs are in favor of the OQW player, but there is soon to be a double cap in favor of the UKF player. Another Vacated Warfare has been built, so there's a massive amount of AT available. He's force firing the sandbags. It just sort of sounds funny to me. You're shooting sandbags. Literally bags of sand. Looks like the Vacated Warfare got a hit and rolls a miss, or maybe it was a 6-pounder. And that miss actually prevented the Centaur from going down.
Enemy movement! On the flank!
Volks Grenadiers, Vacated Warfers are being forced back. The 6-pounder is still in the area, but he will go ahead and do a soft retreat now, because he can't do a full retreat.
Flanking attack! Fire!
You have artillery flares have been called in somewhere. Looks like right around here. He will spot the Centaur, knows that it is being repaired on the front line. Oh, but the Stuka Zafus! Oh! Does not wipe the squads out, but does do a significant amount of damage.
Maintains in position.
What would I do if I was in Frost's position? Can't really say. It may sound a bit stupid, but don't even worry about the crocodile this game. He needs to get some AT out as soon as possible, whether it be through a Firefly or through a 17-pounder. The crocodile is not going to be a good option. He saw the he may have seen the artillery flares. We must assume this is going to be a Command Panther soon. Will penetrate the armor of the Panzer II quite handily. We'll just pull out back just slight enough. Volks Grenadiers eyeing to move forward to engage the 6-pounder. Very nice. Centaur now fully repaired up. The Royal Engineers have been fully reinforced.
Field promotion!
The AT gun is in fact down. Try claiming it. We do got Vacated Warfare, then Panzerfaust, which means another Vacated Warfare. This is a very slow unit, and there's only one shot away from death, and now the Centaur is in fact dead. That is a massive loss. He does have a second 6-pounder now out, but it's going to be 5v5 on the back foot for a very long time. It'll be a very long and messy engagement game for him, more so than it is. He lost the AEC, he lost the Centaur. He has his Panzer II to deal with, and no real way to deal with it. The Panzer II is one shot away from death, but it's going to be skirting around the building, which makes it very hard to kill. He just has to wait it out and smoke out the fox, but there's no smoke to smoke out the fox, except for Hunter is now getting flanked by Storm Pioneers, which are not foxes. Unless it's governed by Rommel, I guess. I don't know why I'm going with that term. The Panzer II will go ahead and escape on out. Stukas coming in for a barrage. Looks like it's generally over here. We'll get a very good hit there. Only 3 models down, but does do a significant amount of damage. Does have medics, though. He can heal them up. Do have some artillery pyrotechnics upgrade on one of these squads. He will not be able to make usage. He has not made a single usage of this doctrine. Which means if he's going to make usage of anything, he can't be upgrading using those artillery flares for the hold the line or for concentrated fire. But granted, the artillery flares do in fact give some good amount of vision. Command Panther is now out, which is very problematic. Fuel points not even in supply, another problematic. And these Royal Engineers are getting ripped apart. Loses one squad. This is not a good situation. He could try throwing artillery flare, but won't do all too much. We'll get a nice flank under this MG. We'll decrew it. We'll be trying to secure it up. He tried potentially try to destroy that MG, but was unable to. Command Panther now rolling around. Do got the 6-pounders trying to position up. Did get one penetrating hit, and the Panzer II could go ahead and get a nice flank. Stukas is now available, and he can crew these AT guns pretty handily. There goes a mine, which will cripple the Panzer IV, and there goes the Command Panther. That is a huge swing. But here comes the Stukas barrage. Oh, will decrew one, severely damages the other. This guy's soft retreating, needs to do a full retreat. Panzer II is now at 4 stars efficiency, chasing down the very, very low health 7-pounder. There's no AT out on the field, he's going to be force firing it and destroy it. Now we got the Command Panther. He has nothing to do with the Panzer II. He's even preventing the recrewing of those 6-pounders, but then again, you can just circle around them, taking them out. Was to resecure one 6-pounder. Forge no fuel income. Does have enough fuel for a Firefly, which would be a very good option at this point. Crocodile's not really an option as far from. And looks like there's sink air and lay back over. Did he cause a sink air? Probably not. I think they just called the game at this because he clearly lost. And overall, this in the series looks like Hooligan has in fact won, losing the first game but bringing it back on the next two. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.